Have you ever wondered, can the nutrition in your diet affect your genes? If yes, how? Hi, my name is Liang Pei Ling, and these are my group members, Chong Wei Qi, Lim Hui Min, and Lam Chao Xue. Back to my questions. The answer is yes, nutrition can affect genes. And the scientific study of the influence of nutrients on one's gene expression is called Nutrigenomics. We all know that genetics play an important role in our health, but so do our eating behaviors and the environment we live in. The term epigenetics is under Nutrigenomics, whereby it is the study of how these factors can change the way our body works. In other words, epigenetic changes will decide which genes to be turned on and off in our body. Whether they are good or bad, these changes are reversible and do not alter our DNA sequences, but they do change the way our body reads a DNA sequence. Today we are going to talk about diet for mental problem. How are they related to each other? Now, mental problem refers to disorders with abnormal thoughts, perceptions, and emotions. It is often associated with genetics, brain defects, or other factors like poor nutrition and exposure to toxins. Be it major changes in eating habits or attachment into false reality like having delusion or hallucination, these symptoms are constantly putting stress and affecting the body system to function well. In this video, we are going to suggest food that should and shouldn't be consumed by psychiatric patients in accordance with epigenetics, together with a few suggestions to improve the mental problem.
In our body, there is a biochemical process known as methylation. This process adds a methyl group to a targeted DNA, which inhibits the gene transcription. It is mainly depending on the consumption of folate in a diet, as it promotes the enzymatic reactions for the productions and transportations of hormones and neurotransmitters. In fact, severe depression as one of the mental problems can be caused by micronutrients deficiency like folate, vitamin B, and omega-3 fatty acid. Folate influences the gene expression by regulating the S-adenosylmethionine SAMe levels to methylate the cytosine, the fundamental component of DNA. Leafy greens, beans, and legumes are good food sources for folate. Besides that, lean proteins and dairy products which are high in vitamin B work together with folate as the essential cofactors to help in the serotonin and dopamine production, which are the neurotransmitters that stabilize our moods. Methylcobalamin or methyl B12 is crucial in synthesizing new DNA and RNA, and it is essential for the neurological function in our brain. It reconverts the homocysteine to methionine to function in the methionine cycle for body growth and development. High homocysteine level affects the methylation cycle and leads to accumulation of DNA damage. Next, the consumption of omega-3 fatty acid from fish and nuts promotes the gene's abilities to synthesize a neuroprotective protein, which are brain-derived neurotrophic factor (BDNF). It helps in protecting and repairing the malfunctioning brain cells to improve the mental problems. If the BDNF level is low in a person who experiences chronic stress, the malfunctioned mitochondria alter the structure and function of the brain cells, which leads to the development of mental illness. Omega-3 fatty acids also have anti-inflammatory properties to stabilize one's moods. This is helpful in controlling the mental problem.
As you are already known about the food to be consumed by psychiatric patients, then what food should be avoided by them? Offal, tofu, dark chocolates, and sweet potatoes
are some food examples that should be limited for intakes. This food contains a high amount of copper. The function of the micronutrient copper is to activate the dopamine beta hydroxylase (DBH) enzyme during the conversion of dopamine to norepinephrine. According to the recommended daily allowance (RDA), the recommended daily intake of copper is 900 micrograms. Over intake of copper-rich food for a long time will lead to copper toxicity. Higher copper level in the body causes more norepinephrine synthesis from dopamine. More norepinephrine being released promotes psychological symptoms such as emotional meltdowns, sleeping difficulties, and frequent anger. When these psychological symptoms persist for a long time, severe depression could be diagnosed. This mental disorder is also affected by the histone acetylation process. Catalyzed by the histone acetyltransferase (HAT) enzyme, this process adds an acetyl group to one end of the histone molecule and increases the gene's availability for the transcription process initiated by the promoter of the superoxide dismutase type 1 SOD1 gene. In a normal scenario, copper binds to the SOD1 promoter to break down the toxic gases. For mildly depressed people, the SOD1 promoter in their body is mutated. Therefore, when the copper level is high, the angiotensin converting enzyme 1, known as SE1 genes, is unable to bind to it. The HAT enzyme will inhibit the transfer of an acetyl group to the histone tubes. It will alter the gene expression and lessen the transcription processes. This causes the copper metallothionein 1, known as the COP1 genes, to be inactivated. These inactive genes will then increase the depressive effects on the patient and lead to severe depression over a long time.
Despite paying attention to diets, practicing a simple mental exercise helps to keep the brain healthy. Meditation is recommended as it provides the right mental space for stress management. It's the act of resting our minds and keep ourselves peaceful. Besides meditation, there's never a wrong time to seek help from the professionals. Getting a proper treatment when necessary helps us to rediscover our confidence and make our lives to be more manageable. Today, we have learned that eating a proper diet will enhance the neurological functions, while overconsumption of certain food promotes the onset of some diagnosable mental disorders. Diet is no doubt an important factor in influencing our gene expression through epigenetic modification, such as DNA methylation and histone modification. To alleviate symptoms of mental problems, consume more leafy greens, lean proteins, and omega-3 fatty acids, but limit the intake of offal and dark chocolate. They are rich in copper. Joy Austin once said, "You were never created to live depressed, defeated, guilty, condemned, ashamed, or unworthy. You were created to be victorious. Be healthier, eat nutritious food, do mental exercises, and you will break your mental barriers as well." That's all from me and my team. We hope you have been benefited from us, and thank you for your attention. Goodbye!